All right, Shalom. I'd like to start off by saying Kal Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Harakak Kwadash Ma'amath, double honor to the elder apostles, great millstone of my hill, their hill, mine as well. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth, to sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. I'm Kanak Son by Yashala from the Lions of the Yashar Allah camp, and this is another Lions Den news and prophecy, and this is a good one. It's going into the economical slightly going into the economical downfall of America. Right? The money is cankered. These are the things we look for, man. And these times, these are things we look for, and we know the more and more we see these things, the more we know the closer we are to our salvation. Lord willing, this lesson to edify and serve His purpose for the hopeful elect ones that truly believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. It says China's money aims to hit U.S. where it hurts, right? And the dollar, China is the biggest debt holder of the American dollar, right? So if they send those dollars back, America's done. If China no longer wants to deal with American currency, period, point blank, America's done, Article says, China's foreign direct investment in Latin America and the Caribbean is undergoing a significant transformation as the economic giant shifts its strategic focus from traditional sectors to technology-driven investments. This move is poised to have a far-reaching impact not only on the region's economic landscape, but also on the global competition, according to a report published this month by the Inter-American Dialogue. It says a Washington, D.C. think tank focus on the region. It says Chinese FDI is changing form, putting monies into large infrastructure projects under Chinese leader Xi Jinping's flagship Belt and Road Initiative to invest focus on industries of the future, a key area in the United States-China technology war. It says it is set to challenge the traditional dominance of U.S. and European funding. Right. So because this whole money deposit scheme that we have going on right now was set up by, Europe and ran by America, enforced by America. Set up and ran by Europe, but enforced by America, That's why I think it was Meyer Amschel Bauer that started the central banking system with his 5 sons. All right? So now, what they used to do is like when you had to travel, and you didn't want to have to carry gold, they would give you certificates. And when you take the certificate and you get to the next town where their brother was, you would hand him the certificate and he would give you that amount in gold. So when they did that, it transitioned to what we see today. You have the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, which deals with what currencies is going to be used in the trade, and the rating of economical currencies. You have the SDR special drawing rights, which came from that, and like a basket of currencies, and the dominant bully in this basket of currency was a greenback. So now, what happens if people start leaning towards another different currency? The greenback is no longer the dominant currency, because in these SDRs you have to buy U.S. dollars in order to trade with your own money, and depending on the value of your money. So what happens if your money becomes more dominant than the United States dollar? And this is a move that China could be making. Hey, they'll relinquish their debt the debt notes that they have of the United States, and start doing transactions with their own currencies, which I want to say is backed by gold. But the United States, the American dollar is not backed by anything. They want to try to say it's backed by oil, but no, it's really only backed by de facto. Because these OPEC nations really control but they were manipulated by the United States of America into using U.S. dollars to with the OPEC deal. So people would have to buy U.S. dollars to be able to get into the trade market. All right. So now you have America doesn't even own their own money. It's owned by Europe, the Federal Reserve. So these reserve notes, which money is not supposed to be in the form of a note. These reserve notes are backed by de facto, and through bullying, America forced the whole world to use this form of money in the trade market, which gives the dollar its power. If everybody has to use the dollar, everybody needs to try to get the dollar, just like how they do with the citizens of the United States. Everybody has to use the dollar in order to survive in this place. So everybody does whatever they need to do to get the dollar, and that's how they expanded that to the international trade market. They forced everybody to need the dollar in order to survive economically. So it forced everybody to do what they needed to do to get the dollar. So it caused everybody to commit fornications with America, and the weapon used for the fornication was the dollar. Well, actually, the greed for the dollar. But now it's just like playing spades. Like, the spades are the highest cards in the deck. But what happens when you pull Trump, right? Anything can win. And if you have a rundown in any other suit, like if you have a rundown in diamonds and all the Trump gone, you getting the rest of the books. Now if you pull Trump and get the dollar out the way, any currency could be the number one currency, or not even a currency. Gold and silver, tangible things, could be brought up on the trade market in order to do international trade. So no longer any multilateral deals, only bilateral deals between one country from another, two people. Not America having to be the middleman putting their hands on everything. All right. The article says, historically, Chinese companies concentrated their investments in the region's vast agricultural and extensive extractive resources, particularly in South America's largest markets. From 2003 to 2022, Chinese FDI in Latin America, Chinese FDI in Latin American and the Caribbean reaches $187.5 billion, according to the report. The sun still falls below the FDI levels of the United States and Europe during the same period, but Chinese companies are actively expanding their presence in the region, pursuing targeted opportunities in the new infrastructures field in almost all nations there, the author said. Many of these new priority areas are described by China as new infrastructure, a term which encompasses industries, telecommunications, fintech, and energy transitions, for instance, that are broadly innovation related, but also key components of Chinese economic growth strategy. It says the sectors are among those that some G7 nations have themselves sought to prioritize in Latin America and the Caribbean and other parts of the global South, they said. So when it comes to these technological investments, China is beating them to the punch as far as investing in Latin America and the Caribbean. It says Margaret Myers, one of the co-authors of the report, said our data shows a clear shift in Chinese FDI towards specific industries in Latin America and the Caribbean. So their investments, they're doing a lot of investments in these places. It says in the first half of the year, China FDI data for the region showed the shift that they already began to reduce attention on big ticketed projects and notable acquisitions by Chinese businesses in electrically generations and transmissions. It says usually deals comprise 40% of China's total investments from January to July 2023. The report said high-end manufacturing accounted for 28%. In Brazil, Chinese electric maker BYD plans to establish plants. In Chile, a Chinese firm has acquired lithium assets, linking extractions and proceedings of the critical mineral used in EV battery manufacturing to a potential buyer on the same continent. China currently dominates the global market for rare and critical element mining and refinement, with the U.S. still playing catch-up after offshoring its supply chains to other parts of the world. So now, with the investments that China's making in these tech fields and energy fields in Chile and in parts of the Caribbean and Brazil, they're that's a wage of war against America. See, they're making themselves fundamentally sound to where they don't need the United States for anything when it comes to economical growth. In times past, China used America as a stepping stone for economical growth. They were the mirror image of America. But you know, as times goes on, as the GDP for the United States started to slowly dwindle, because the only thing that the America produces is the dollar, and they don't even really produce that. So China was being independent on economical growth, and this is showing it right here. Oh, the battery's about to die. So let me get a couple scriptures real quick. Let me get James chapter 5. There was another one I wanted to get before that. Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can find it real quick. The second Ezra. Slacking. Okay, this is second Ezra chapter 16, verse 1. It says, "Woe unto thee, O Babylon and Asia, woe unto thee, Egypt and Syria." Right. It says, "Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack, and bewail your children, and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand, and the destruction is being brought forth by Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai." It says, "The sword is set upon you, and who may return it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May a man drive away a hungry lion in the woods, or may any quench the fire in a stubble when it has begun to burn?" Right. So these plagues that Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai is throwing on the earth, is sitting on the earth, right? Nobody can turn them back. And one of these plagues that he's sending on the earth is war. And you're witnessing an economical war right now. All right. Where is it? Where do I want to? Next scripture I want to get. Hold on, 1 second. Slacking. Let me go to that one I read wasn't really the one I wanted. Let me go back to James chapter 5. And it reads, this is James 5:1, and it says, "Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupt, and your and your garment is moth eaten." Right. So the dollar was corrupted from the beginning, man. That's what they used it for, corruption, and it was a corruptive form of currency, a corruptive form of to sustain life. Because money can be a defense, but the dollar was not a defense. The dollar was leading everybody to the destruction. The dollar is how America made the whole world fornicate. The whole world was losing their mind about this canker, corrupted dollar. All right. Verse 3, it says, "Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rest of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire, and ye have heaped treasures together for the last days." Right. So Esau has heaped treasures together for the last days using the dollar to get all the resources off the earth. You know? So going back to the title, it says China's money aims to hit U.S. where it hurts. The only way you can hit the United States where it hurts if you hit the dollar, because the dollar is the only thing that's holding America together. You know, but the dollar is also putting America in debt with these other nations, because they use the dollar to steal all the resources, take all the gold off the earth from these nations. Like, you know what I'm saying? What would happen to these nations? Like, hey man, where my gold at? Let me get that. What the hell you gonna say? America around here talking about some Gideon and blood. What is that? Pooh Shiesty and all that kind of stuff. You know, so America's in debt to these other nations, man. And just like Zaquan's lesson that he did a little while ago, where he was talking about you know, the Lord is lifting up the skirt and showing the shame of America. You know, the dollar made America look so beautiful, man. But when you really look behind the dollar is just like makeup, you know, and a fancy dress. But when you take the dollar out of the way, you see the disgust and filth. Like, you wouldn't even want to lay down with America. The reason why these nations lay down with America is because of the dollar, man. That American dream was all back behind the mirage that the dollar gave. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." Right, the just are not going to live by the dollar. The just are going to live by the faith in Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Yeah, money can be a defense. It will. You get your daily bread to pay your bills. But, like, the dollar's not going to get you salvation. It can make you a little comfortable. Yeah. But, like, you know, you don't want to get too comfortable where you don't want to leave this bitch. You know, you want to be ready to go at all times. Like, we treat every day like it's the Passover, with our shoes on, eating in haste, ready to go. Not moving in haste according to the Spirit, but in that bags packed, ready to go, leave this place type spirit, because we know we're close to the time where the Lord's gonna get us up out of here. You know, it says so we live by the faith in Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, but 2/3 of our people are going to be caught up in things like the dollar, focus on things like that where they can't even focus on what they need to focus on to get salvation. Verse 5, it says, "Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell, and is as death. And cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all people, and heaped unto him all nations, man. That's what he did. He heaped unto him all nations with the dollar. You know? But what did the dollar do for him? It says, verse 6, it says, shall not all these things take up a proverb against him, and a taunting proverb against him, saying, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? Right. Like he taking the people, taking the lands, taking the resources. Ain't none of that his. And every single thing that he took was either to create the dollar or all about the dollar. The dollar debt note system was created by slavery, with slavery, you know, and sustained by the society that we see today, which is another form of slavery, all for the dollar. It says, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that laden himself with thick clay. And that word clay, and the word for clay is debt. Laden himself with thick debt. Indebted to these nations. Indebted to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Because Yahweh Bashim Yahushua wants that ass. Like, he's coming for Esau, man. You know, and he used the dollar, right, to manipulate and confuse and bamboozle these nations, right? But ultimately, that's going to lead him to his destruction, like these missiles. Let me get Jeremiah 51:7. It says, Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nation have drunken of the wine of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Right. These nations were boasting with America with that dollar, man. And they were boasting like you looking crazy as fuck, boasting with a motherfucker that's hoodwinking the shit out of you, but you can't even see it because the dollar had them gone. The dollar had these nations gone. So now that these nations are not relying on the dollar no more, America is gone. America is done. Without the dollar, America is done. America has nothing to offer. Just like a whore. The dollar was America's box. A whore without a box is worth nothing. Because everybody fell in love with the box. Everybody wanted that box. But when they found out, oh man, that ain't even really, you know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? When they found out it's not what it's worth, the box ain't nothing no more. Like, America has nothing else to offer. The beauty has gone away. The dollar is what beautified America. America was beautified with the other nations. This is a melting pot. Everybody's bringing their cultures here. You can go to Chinatown. You can go to Little Italy. You can go to Little Haiti and different places. Like, these other nations from all over the globe dressed America up. And America used the dollar to manipulate and lure everybody in. You know? All right, I want to get one more scripture to close it out. This is our Revelations. Chapter 18. Verse 3. It says, for all the nations have drunken of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. All right? And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacy. No, the main delicacy is the dollar. And that's how these other nations wax rich. Everybody wanted to get their hands on the dollar. Because if you had a dollar, you were rich. The more dollars you had in your mind, they manipulated everybody to think that the more dollars, US dollars you had, the richer you were. But not understanding the more dollars you got, the more you are in debt. And China is attacking the one thing that holds America together, the U.S. dollar. Lord willing, this lesson to edify and serve this purpose. With that, like Sekah, Halayim, La Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Harakak Kwadash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone, and my elder Herawan as well. Salutations to the argument that are pushing this truth and sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men and women and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.